India may be dominating the second session of the first test against England in Hyderabad. But in the first session, there was a very peculiar incident that has divided social media. And that was this particular instance of Joe Root trying to sweep the left arm spinner. Now, there was already drama prior to this thing because he seemed to have gotten lucky. But the drama that followed afterwards, it seemed to suggest that Joe Root indeed had a very lucky escape. Who knows, Joe Root could have gotten on to get 100. He was the best player of spin. He was the best player in India at this point in time. So, Root luckily top-edged the sweep of Jadeja and he got the wicket there. So, that is why it is a big feat indeed that India managed to get him out cheaply. But this particular instance once again highlighted the fallibility of technology when you have to look at the DRS situation. Now, many people are divided. The English press will say no, that there was a deviation. The Indian press will keep on saying that, oh, okay, this is the particular angle that we are satisfied with. Now, I will present you two sides of this. This is the particular angle that one photo is being circulated on social media. You can see the gap here. Okay. This is the side-on bit. But look at already what has happened. There are already some small spikes that are happening and there is a prominent spike when there is bat hitting the ball. But there is one more thing here. This is actually a front-on vision and front-on clearly seems to have suggested that the ball actually hit the bat. There was a clear deviation. But this is the problem. Frame by frame, if you analyze it, this is where the DRS fallibility, and this is where, if you look at it, technology has that 0.5 percentile error. And this is where it is. To the naked eye, because the camera is at a certain height, the parallax error will mean that there seems to be a certain deviation. But even if you look at it side on also, there seems to be a gap. But remember, the camera is not in line. There is a parallax error because see, Root is actually bending down. So, already if you look at it, the angle of the camera is because of the parallax error. And not just to compound this. Front end, there is already a parallax error problem. That is why it may show a clear deviation. Side on, because Root has swept, there might be a parallax error even here. It will show edge. It will show a gap. But it is reliant on frames, so many minute frames. And there was already drama prior to this, which is probably why the third umpire, Murray Erasmus in this case, he actually had to go on with it because India decided to take the review. Great. But before DRS could even start functioning, there was a 5 to 6 minute delay. What is the real delay? We will never know about it. No official statement has been given as to why 5 to 6 minutes were taken for DRS to resume. But when DRS resumed, the ball passed close to bat and pad. Yes, we all agree it was close to bat and pad. But prior to the ball hitting the bat, everybody agrees that there was spikes. Spikes were visible on real-time Snico. Front on and side on had different views. Side on, front on. The visuals will be hazy because that's how it is. Now, what do you make of it? Many people believe that Joe Root got lucky because Kevin Peterson, when he was on commentary, he himself stated there were squiggles before the ball had even struck the bat. The ball is a long way from the bat when you can start to see the spikes. You could see it, very minute spikes were there. Side on it will show that there is a gap, but front on it showing that there is a deviation. Which frame do you trust? That is the key here. Have a look there. Normally that would signal that it's hit the bat already, but there is a clear difference between bat and ball. Clear difference is there. So there is already spikes when it is coming. Where are those spikes coming from? We don't know. But it has definitely clouded Murray Erasmus's judgment on two factors. Because Ravi Shastri said, I think he's lucky. Benefit of the doubt has gone the batsman's way. Clear cut. Whenever in doubt, batsmen get the benefit. Now, Erasmus was probably clouded by the fact that it already took 5 to 6 minutes. Already there is broadcaster pressure. Okay, you have to speed up the play, speed up the play. 5 to 6 minutes of dead air when everybody was waiting for it. That would have definitely thought and influenced and maybe clouded his judgment. So that is why Erasmus gave it out pretty quickly, within 1 minute. So the entire episode took about 8 minutes total. 8 minutes in total. Erasmus arriving at the decision took only 1-2 minutes. He said, I am satisfied that there is a clear-cut thing. Now that is his judgment. But the backgrounder that is behind Erasmus's judgment was that Root got lucky. The common consensus is that Root got lucky, and even Murli Karthik, who was there on commentary, he stated, when we saw the replay and saw what was happening, there were lots of spike marks even before the ball, or lots of murmurs even before the ball reached the bat. There were murmurs. No one is denying that from each side of the spectrum. No one is denying that there were spikes. But whether there was a deviation, front on it looks like it, side on it is different. Now this is where technology will have a big say. Because Joe Root, if you looked at the paddle sweep that he played, he seemed to have gotten a deviation front on, but side on there is a gap. So he was very lucky here. Erasmus was probably under pressure because he was already 5 to 6 minutes late in activating the DRS, not his fault. Erasmus's judgment was probably done because of the pressure that is there. He had to get the game going. Already there was a significant delay. But why was the delay so much? Because see, India still managed to bowl 28 overs. They were bowling at a fast rate. These kind of delays can be accounted in. But perhaps you cannot blame Erasmus's judgment totally, because at the end of the day, he might have been influenced by the spikes. There was a spike, and the umpire, according to his judgment at that time, he is closer to the ground where he is. You have to go by that judgment. Fine. It has happened with India in the past. It's happened with other teams in the past. Technology, simple basic problem in cricket. Frames, parallax error. Two basic things. The parallax error, because the camera is at a certain height, the projection is at a certain height. Because of the camera angle, there will always be problems. So that is why that 1 percentile of error, technology can never be 100%. That is the basic crux of it. So Root got very lucky, and one hopes we don't have any more DRS drama here, because as a last thing we need, all the hype was on non-cricket issues, because the action on the field is not that great anyway when it comes to Indian Test cricket. This just adds a bit more spice in what has already been dubbed a spicy encounter. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.